Evening all, how you doing, Kate? Nice to see you in again. Robert, Davey, Che Wilson, Professor Andy, Stevie Ray, how you doing? Sean Rye, Big Fat Cat, Mark McCoy, Paul Tidy-Wells, Two-Tone, Matty C4, Craig Hewitt, Gateed Bonnie Lad. Now then, see, it's easy when I come on time. There's hardly anyone in. But I was a wee bit late yesterday, so I thought I'll get in early for a change. I was doing something else and I haven't done Fizz this morning, which is why I'm on time. Normally I finish training at about 20 to 11 and it can be a bit of a ball ache getting ready. Anyway, that's also why I combed my hair. Look, see, I've actually combed it. Like, you would think I'd look less scruffy if I'd just got out the shower, but yeah, weird that, innit? Anyway, who gives a fuck about my grooming habits? Welcome to the BBC Spews for Thursday the 2nd of December. You can see, because the date's on the screen. Unfortunately, it's alongside Germany bars unvaccinated from public life. And I said I wasn't going to talk about COVID anymore because it's depressing people. So let's not waste any time on that. All I will say is, I suppose it's not technically talking about COVID if I'm to bring up Germany's response and the legality of it. The short version is, we know that you're not allowed to do this fucking stuff. Just because the lawmakers can make the laws whatever they want, doesn't mean that you can ignore centuries of legal precedent, and they can argue about this all the like. You know, if we get a prime minister who's similar to the London mayor, right? I'll just leave it at that. I don't have to make any more oblique references than that. If we get a prime minister and a government, let's say in 20 years' time, there's been enough movement via the medium of dinghy into Bradford and Luton and London and Manchester and everywhere else. Let's say we get a theocratic government in place in a few years' time. If they then make it legal to marry and shaft 11-year-old girls, it's legal, but not really, because it's the spirit of the law that you're following. That's how we do it in the UK. Precedent, legal precedent. And we know that just because this current glut of cowardly, spineless authoritarians have decided that they can do anything and everything in response to the pandemic doesn't mean that it's legal. If that makes sense, right? It's legal, but it ain't. You can't lock up healthy people just because they don't want to go through a medical procedure. It's laughable. And everybody who's ever read a history book knows it. It makes no sense at all. So, it's Shiite. And, well, I suppose we at least saw it coming, right? Because it's in Germany, right? So, of course, yeah, we sort of saw it coming. Law-abiding doesn't mean righteous. Exactly so. Exactly so, Paul. It's out of order. And I think anyone who really studies history knows it, to be sure. The real issue I've got with it as well is it's the most overbearing one I've seen. I'm relatively confident that even the current shambolic Tory government won't go as far as the Germans, because again, you've got to look at historical precedent. I don't think we've ever gone quite as far as the Germans. So we'll see. I don't think that they'll get to the point where it's literally you get it or you're not allowed out your fucking house. But we'll see. You knew it'd be the Jerrys and the Austrians, didn't you? The Austrians carrying on the traditions by their favourite son, everybody's most popular one-bollocked, toothbrush, moustached dictator. And the Jerrys have followed suit. It's fucking lunacy. It says the thing that made me laugh was the top one there. It says unvaccinated people will be limited in meetings with their own house and 2 other people. So it's literally, they're telling you, you can only have people in your own house that we tell you. What, you want to have 3 people in your own fucking house? Nah. I mean, how mad's that? Telling you you're allowed in your own house. An Englishman's home is his castle. Oh yeah, well a German's home is fucking Merkel's castle. It's unfit. And yeah, right at the very top is all we need to read from it, right? You see, only those who have been vaccinated or recovered recently will be allowed in restaurants, cinemas and leisure facilities, most shops. So you're just not allowed out. They're strong-arming you into it because you're not allowed out. So yeah, fuck them, right? I live on my own and no friends. Who's laughing now? Yeah, winning. I've got no mates at all. Loving life. It's mad, innit? It's mad. So let's not go on about it anymore. We all know what's going on, right? And I've tried to perk you all up, immunise you, to coin the phrase, immunise you against COVID shit. So yeah, we don't need to talk about it anymore. We know what's going on, and we know what's going to happen, and we know what's coming. Nothing more needs to be said, right? Stiff upper lip, strong mind, strong body. Fuck 'em. And it's going to keep on coming. This isn't going away anytime soon. It fucking might never go away, right? There's nothing as permanent as a temporary government programme. It might never go away. We might be getting fucked with for the next 10 years. Fortunately, I have many, many fucks to give. And I mean that as in to give out, right? You want to curtail my freedoms? Fuck you. Fuck them. Look, plenty of fucks to give out, but not any to give. Who cares? Who cares? If you're in a tough place mentally, fuck them. Get your mates round, get pissed in the kitchen, have a good laugh, put some tunes on, whatever you want. Seriously, it's not getting me down. I got my own rowing machine, I bought it and put it in my fucking house because I can't be arsed. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing it. It's me. Have you been vaccinated? Yeah, I have. I told you. I had both in order to get a flight to this fucking country in... When did I move back? October? I've never been vax paranoid myself because I was in the Royal Marines and I got everything. I got yellow fever, smallpox, rabies, TB, fucking you name it. I think that they may have made some fucking errors because they rushed this one out. But ultimately, I've never been worried about it. I thought if it fucks me up, it might like mutate in my blood and turn me into bastard Spider-Man. I wasn't overly worried about it. I think I'm in the same ballpark as many sort of centrist fucking fence sitters in that my issue isn't with I'm worried about vaccines. I don't think that... I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? So I don't believe that the scientists are doing some sort of evil plan to make everybody infertile or something. And you can look at that, right? No, there hasn't been... someone in the chat yesterday said something like, you're going to put like unvaccinated sperm on eBay. We've been jabbing people for over a year, right? If the vaccine made you have 2-headed sloth babies with fucking fins for feet... we'd have already realised it. So that's a conspiracy theory too far. My point is always it's down to incompetence and stupidity. It appears that the vaccine is nowhere near as useful as we thought it was, doesn't prevent transmission, and doesn't really do very much. Yeah, that's right, Andrew Cooper, yeah. So they rushed it. So it's not as efficacious as we thought it was. It doesn't last as long. You need fucking boosters. It basically just stops you from being completely fucked if you get it. Doesn't stop you. Yeah, and again, just give them heart attacks. So I think the obvious thing to say here is I got 2 and I do fizz fucking 6 days a week. And then yesterday I ran up a mountain and I'm fucking tickety-boo. I think the short version is, like I said, it's down to incompetence, not malice, right? So they haven't spiked it to make sure you have mutant children or we would have noticed. And they haven't spiked it to fuck your heart up or we'd be seeing much higher numbers of cardiac arrest than we have done. Or it could be a fucking placebo. Maybe that one. That's something I'm willing to entertain. Because so many people have had fucking COVID. Maybe I've had it, right? I went to fucking Seattle right in the midst of the very beginning of the pandemic, and I was coughing my fucking guts up for a month. So maybe there's something to that as well, right? We were all getting injected with fucking Perrier water. But the point is, it's incompetence rather than some wide-ranging conspiracy, right? So regarding the mutant babies and the sloth kids, that's not a thing, because it's been. I like to think that the numbers debunk that. People have been having babies for the last fucking year. Possibly it just slightly knocks the edge off COVID, and that's about it. The obvious thing is it's for money, right? Pfizer and Moderna have paid off the politicians, so everyone has to get it. So their stock will go through the fucking roof, and everyone's making loads of money into it. I think that's the most likely. The other thing is, yeah, you can have a fucking bad reaction that can fuck you up. But again, you can have a bad reaction that can fuck you up when you get COVID. So, yeah, why take a drug for a virus that has a 99.5%? And why indeed? And that's my point. But if you need to fucking get one to get a flight, because that's where your wife's currently situated, I don't give a fuck, right? And like I said the same about the anthrax jabs. When I went to Iraq, we had to opt in for the anthrax jabs. And I got 3. You had to sign a waiver saying you could have the fucking anthrax jabs. Loads of lads didn't get them. And I did. Because I'm not risk averse, right? I'm like, fuck it, jab me up. Maybe it'll make me into a mutant. Stillborn of babies have risen. I haven't read. Send me a good link to that, and I'll happily read it. Rotten to the core, rotten politics is correct. Big pharma throw caution to the curb for profit. Again, I'm somewhere in the middle, right, with the conspiracy theories and the fucking knobheads who do as they're told. I think it's all about money. And this is the point I've made 50 times. Everything's all about money. Think of it this way. This is what I would say to the hardcore conspiracy theorists who don't think it's simply down to incompetence and and stupidity, which is why the fucking jab isn't very useful and it doesn't stop transmission. It's down to incompetence. It's not down to malice because they want to kill us all. Because what does the government, what has every government since time immemorial been doing? What are they interested in? They're interested in money. This stuff is so basic. It astounds me how many people sort of make things more complicated than they need to be. It's been the same since the Persians and the Romans. It's the same now. All they care about is money. So the reason we've bumbled this fucking pandemic response and the governments are being overbearing is money. You don't need to start getting into ancient Babylonians and chemtrails and eugenics. It's for money. Moderna, look at the price of Moderna's stock in the last fucking couple of years. Pfizer. All they had, Pfizer's fucking sponsoring everything. It's about money. That is enough of an explanation for me. It's about money. So fuck them, right? The issue I've got is not with, I don't think the vaccine will turn you into sloth. I think you shouldn't force anybody to get it out of fucking principle. Well, first of all, out of principle is the obvious one. And second of all, it doesn't work very well. It doesn't stop transmission. And that is so fucking obvious. You cunts have got me talking about COVID, by the way, for 15 fucking minutes, where I said I was going to get off this one. But think about it. If it doesn't stop... oh, shit, I've got it. I've got the rotor. If it doesn't stop transmission, and all it does is lower hospitalisation rates, then they can let everybody out. Because the reason they make it things like TB mandatory or MRSA is because it stops fucking transmission. So the fact that this doesn't stop transmission surely means everybody can go out, right? So if you're worried, you get it and you're less likely to go to hospital. And if you're not fucking worried, you can go out and who gives a fuck? It doesn't stop fucking transmission anyway. So yeah, it's about principle. I think most people agree with that. Most British conservatives certainly agree with it, right? You cannot be an anti-vaxxer and still be massively all about the principle of people to fucking choose. Because if you're mega paranoid, it's actually cruel as fuck to force someone to get a vaccine. If you're genuinely afraid of it, or you're worried about heart palpitations, or you're worried about cardiac arrest, and there's real fear in there, the government forcing you to get a vaccine is one of the most fucking immoral things I've ever heard. And I think I talked about this when I was in Saltburn a couple of months back. When I had a massive argument with some fucking bloke who was like a big scary bullhead, and he was jabbing his finger in my face going, I'm fucking vulnerable. Because I was saying people shouldn't be forced to have a vaccine. And he was in my face going, I'm fucking vulnerable, you cunt. And I was like, well, you don't look and sound fucking vulnerable, mate. You look like you want to fucking roll me up and fuck me in the middle of the bar. A big scary fucking meathead. So yeah, you don't look vulnerable. It's the principle of the matter. So let's clear that up. I'm not a conspiracy theorist with regards to vaccines. I think it's incompetence and money, nothing more than that. And I do 100% support your right to not get the fucking thing. And Nick Ferrari is a silly, fat, greenback-looking daft cunt, and that's why he thinks he should be fined £100 a day, because look at the clip of him. He's got fear written all over him. An absolute shithouse. Right, anyway, you fuckers, stop going on about this. I'm sick of talking about it. Let's do something else. Look, here's a nice, happy piece of social justice bollocks we can laugh at instead, right? Are you ready? Let's stop talking about it. 5 stars for Spielberg's moving West Side Story. This, bear in mind, when I'm doing my movie reviews and my popular culture reviews, I've always talked about how there's no fucking talent at all and everyone's just a bastard. They're just there as a result of nepotism and cronyism. This fucker is a remake of a remake of a remake, right? I mean, fucking put that in your pipe and smoke it. The first one is a remake of Romeo and Juliet, and then they made the theatre production, and then they made the fucking shitty TV show, and then they made, well, Grease is a fucking remake, and then they made this. So this is a remake of a remake of a remake of a fucking remake. And look at the clip of it. Spielberg's version of the classical music is full of energy. Oh, of course, yeah. Because guess what? Can you guess what they like about it? I don't even need to see it. I guarantee you 2 things. First of all, almost everybody in the cast is going to have a tan. Because, again, nothing against anyone that's got a tan. Nobody who's a normal human thinks this. But what I'm saying is the BBC reviewers and the professional film critics only give things 5 stars if the cast isn't full of ginger people, right? And secondly, yes, you got it right, Griff. Secondly, I guarantee, unlike the rest of the versions of West Side Story, there is going to be an abundance of ravers everywhere you look. Like, she'll have a best mate who's, wearing a fucking rainbow-coloured dress and claims to be a woman but has got a fucking lob on. And he'll be like, there'll be some sort of heroic self-sacrifice from some fucking bloke in a gimp suit. And what else? We might have like a vegan activist in there. You just know it. Because these silly cunts gave this 5 stars. And look at the bollocks. Hearing the lyrics after Sondheim's death is a reminder of how irreplaceable he was. You don't believe any of it. You just like it because it's fucking ethnic and LGBTQ+. Yeah, his best mate will be non-binary, I'm telling you. It'll be totally fucking dog shit. Spielberg has created his own miracle. A film for a day that embraces all that is sublime. Created his own miracle. What? So he's done a remake of a remake of a remake, and he's created a fucking miracle, has he? Really? Yeah, of course he has. He's just ripped off other people, and it's a fucking miracle. What a load of bollocks. Terry, stop with the fur babies. You absolute chopper. You know what not to say to wind me up. Yeah, so apparently it's fucking 5 stars. Done. 5 stars. A remake of a remake of a remake, but because everyone in it's got a bit of a tan, and there's going to be a bit of, there'll probably be someone noshing someone off in the car park out the back of the diner at some point, yeah. Might be some cameo. Elton John will do a cameo and suck hot spunk out of fucking Rita's arsehole or whatever. Whatever. we know what's going on. When you get 5 stars, it's just their incessant insistence to review popular culture based purely about the politics fucking does my head in. Like, you can't. We talked about this yesterday. It's easy for normal people to separate their entertainment from the politics. I don't have to like Jimmy Carr's politics to like his stand-up. I don't have to agree with George Michael's lunar proclivities to like George Michael's music. But these barmy cunts at the BBC will only give a film 5 stars if some bloke is sucking someone off in the middle of the film. I'm telling you. It's ridiculous. And if the main cast, none of them are ginger. Because have you seen Black Panther? Marvel and DC have basically, what they've done to stick everyone in all of their movies and TV shows to make them as ethnic as possible is they've basically committed ginger genocide. The redheads have been fucking airbrushed out of history. Like, and I'm a comic fan, or I was when I was in my teens and my 20s. I sort of grew out of it when I was about 33 and Disney bought Marvel. But fucking, it's ginger genocide. The amount of gingers they've turned into people with a tan is quite shocking. They've left the white people who've got brown hair, but it's the ginners they're picking on. Mary Jane, Ginner. Aquaman, Ginner. I can reel them off. Jimmy Olsen, Ginner. Now everything you watch with them in, they're all black and brown people. It's just like the Ginnock genocide. So maybe there's a conspiracy theory for you. Maybe people really do think gingers have got no souls because the poor little bastards are being fucking wiped out in celluloid thanks to the woke. Seems a bit harsh to me. Anyway, so that's bollocks. Do yourself a favour. Don't watch the remake of a remake of a remake and do something else instead. Here's a fucking good one. I even put my headphones in to get ready for it because this will be a fucking beauty. I haven't watched it. I thought I'd do this together like a premiere, right? Venezuela. Remember Venezuela? That the communists were all saying was a fucking model? I mean, they love talking about healthcare because it's free in South and Central America in many places. Cuba. They love talking about healthcare over here, the lefties. This is healthcare in Venezuela. Dragged up the stairs for my hospital appointment. Fucking nice one. That's like saying, oh yeah, in America, restaurants charge you money. But in Venezuela, meals are free. What's for dinner? Tic Tacs and rain. That's not a meal. Can't live off that. In America, they charge money for cheeseburgers. But in Venezuela, every meal's free. What did you have for breakfast? I managed to catch a rat and bite its head off before it was pulled from my hands by a homeless man. Oh, nice one. Nice one. What's it worth? If the service is worth nothing, who cares if it's free? Who cares if it's free? Do you? Dragged up the stairs for your fucking hospital appointment. Oh, well, at least it's free. It's shit. If someone's doing... If some fucking bloke who isn't even a doctor, he's a lumberjack, and he has to dust the fucking breadcrumbs off his kitchen table and then goad your organs with a sharp stick because you need your appendix out, are you happy that it's free? Or would you rather pay a bit and actually get this shit done by a trained medical professional? It's not rocket science, is it? So these silly bastards have been chucking up the Venezuelan healthcare system for fucking years. The communists, AOC, in Venezuela, teeth like a fucking witch doctor's necklace. In Venezuela, healthcare's free. Yeah, and look at the clip of it. Dragged up the stairs by your brother. What do you do if you haven't got a brother? Crawl up there with your... Only 8 floors to go, Pablo. Winner. At least it's free, chomper. Fuck me. Shall we watch it? Because I'm assuming it's going to be funny. It says Venezuela's healthcare system has for several years now been in a state of collapse. Oops, just noticed, BBC, have you? President Maduro blames sanctions for the country's economic problems. It's communism. It's communism, BBC. Government mismanagement and corruption have also brushed up. No mention of the obvious. It's not government mismanagement, it's communism. Yes, that's why they're eating rats. That's why you have to crawl up the fucking stone staircase when you're Stephen Hawking. Because of communism. Fucking hell. Anyway, let's watch it. Let's watch it. I will piss myself laughing. Because I'm a bit of a bastard. Right. Let's do this, shall we? I'm fucking loving it. I will be erect all the way through it.
Mi hermano tiene que subirme a pulso para el 9º piso, escalera por escalera, porque los ascensores se dañaron.
I'll tell you what. There's one good thing to take away from that clip. It's made me somewhat reluctant to be able-bodied. Because if I had to choose between being the poor cunt in the wheelchair or the able-bodied brother, I'll take the fucking wheelchair. Venezuela is such a shithole. You've got athletes praying that they get twatted by a bus. Yeah? We've got like weightlifters going, oh, I wish I could be Stephen Hawking. It's like, because that's your fucking job. If you're in a wheelchair, you just get to sit on your fucking fat ass. If you're able-bodied, guess who you're dragging up 9 flights of fucking stairs, son? Yeah? Shit, he's sitting there going, thank fuck I'm in a wheelchair. Get in. He's loving life. So yeah, there we go. 7 seconds in, mint. I'm loving this. Fucking nice one.
Porque los ascensores se dañaron.
Ir a un hospital es como ir al infierno.
Para que uno se va acostumbrando al dolor.
Communism, ladies and gentlemen. Gaze upon the fruits of it.
¿Qué más, Cutello? Buenos días. Ya estamos listos para la batalla.
Everyone's looking well. The good old shared farm labour is working out well, isn't it? Communist agriculture's fucking bucking the trend in Venezuela. Jesus.
El señor Tello me ayuda, me lleva, porque hasta por el camino, pero nosotros siempre íbamos con Dios. No más para acá.
Look at that. This is one of the most oil-rich countries in the entire world. And 10 years ago, their economy was the envy of South and Central America. Now look at it. How the fuck have you got a petrol shortage in Venezuela? How's that possible? How? That's like being around Ian Blackford's house and he's got a shortage of fucking sausage rolls. The fat fuck. How is it possible? That's like going on his house and he's got a shortage of whiskey and haggis. And he puts 200 grand worth of whiskey and haggis on his fucking parliamentary expenses every year. How is it possible to have a petrol shortage in fucking Venezuela? Well, I'll tell you how. Communism. They can do anything. It is a miracle. The BBC talk about miracles earlier. Let's talk about this miracle. The only thing magical enough to give you a fucking petrol shortage in Venezuela is communism. Like, if it was a capitalist country, you couldn't fucking move for petrol. You'd like go to take the dog out and you'd be tripping over fucking jerry cans. That's how much oil they've got. But somehow they've managed to be bastards short of petrol in Venezuela. It's unbelievable. That's like being short of tits in a strip club. Lunacy. Fucking lunacy. It's like being short of heroin in Middlesbrough. You can't move for the bastard stuff.
Con eso va y viene.
Sí. Compartimos la gasolina. Nosotros salimos de aquí a las 5 de la mañana. Rápido, con todo el riesgo.
I I love how fucking grim it is. That reminds me of being in Afghanistan. They've just turned it into a fucking third world country. 10 years ago, they were fucking loving life. Everyone had a pot belly, dancing in the fucking streets. Now look at it. It's like a fucking bad movie. Like, what was it? I can't even remember. How many hours was it? The bastard embassy siege. It looks absolutely fucking shocking. This is the first BBC News report that reminds me of home. It's making me homesick for the borough. Power cuts, danger at every turn. Can't get petrol. Feral gangs roam the streets. Fucking, I tell you, it's making me heart bleed.
Hasta puede llegar al hospital. Para yo no perder la diálisis.
Yeah, you finally get to the hospital and be like, fucking hell, that was a fucking nightmare, I'm fucked. I get up at 4:30 and push the car 4 miles. Still, at least we're at the hospital. Yeah, thank fuck for that. Lift's not working. Oh yeah, carry him up 9 flights of stairs, fatty. Yeah, what do you mean you're tired? You've got 9 flights to go yet, fella. Chop chop. Jesus.
Mi hermano tiene que subirme a pulso para el 9º piso, escalera por escalera, porque los ascensores se dañaron.
Hay mucho COVID y ahorita con la feria.
Aquí llegó una cuestión.
Hey, it's Stephen Hawking, he is here after all. Oh no, they've done that.
Los catéter me lo donaron. ¿A quién se los dejo? Que no los vendan. Cuando entro a mi institución, siempre me dan ganas de llorar, porque mi hospital era un hospital completo. Hoy...
What a fucking shithole. Look at the clip of it. Like a fucking slum. Again, if you're feeling low because you're in a Western country currently being governed by spineless cowards, authoritarian shithouses like Angela fucking Mucky Ass and Boris Jellyfish Johnson, you're still doing all right, aren't you? Because they're merely woke, milquetoast cowards. They're not full-blown communists like you get in Venezuela. Because when you get full-blown communism, you get full-blown starvation, full-blown societal collapse, full-blown fucking misery and starvation and pain 24/7. So if you feel a bit shit, I think I told Seafort this yesterday. He said he's a bit depressed with the lockdowns and that. If you feel a bit shitty, at least in England you've got fucking high definition pornography. You can fap yourself around the living room all day. Here you've got power cuts, no internet, shit in the streets, now to eat. I mean, again, if you're ever feeling down, watch this fucking video. Because that's what you get if you take another few steps to the left and completely allow your country to get consumed by these fucking idiots. And they are fucking idiots, there's nothing else to say about them. Their ideology has left death and desolation and destruction and other things beginning with D that are shit. Everywhere it's reared its ugly head. China, Vietnam, fucking Cambodia, Pol Pot and fucking Mao and Stalin and every one of them, every single time it is the same tired, shitty ideology. It refuses to die. And AOC rocks up, this is a fucking good idea. Read a book, you silly fucking mare. Read a book. Jeremy Corbyn, his political opinions haven't changed since he was 17 years old. The man is a fucking idiot.
Merecemos de todo.
What? You had to film secretly because the hospital staff fear repercussions for speaking out? That doesn't sound very woke. That doesn't sound exactly the fucking same as every single bastard lefty cunt who has been haranguing and harassing and firing anyone that can get their greasy fucking maws on. Is it? That doesn't sound like communists. What, they fear repercussions for talking? That doesn't sound like the lefties. That doesn't sound like every Guardian reader, BBC journalist, independent writer, left-wing politician since the creation of clamshite, does it? Nah, that doesn't sound like them. They don't do that, do they? Fuck me. It's insulting to me. Again, it's insulting to me that working class scum with a webcam like me need to talk about this stuff. Why aren't conservative politicians worthy of the name conservative going on TV every single day and saying, is everyone in this fucking building got a head full of cow shit? We know what this does. It's not some revelation. You don't need to be some mathematical genius or some scholar, some student of history. You don't need to be David Starkey or fucking Tim Berners-Lee. You just need to have stuck in primary school. It's not difficult. Fucking hell. Everything they do is cliched. It's almost boring talking about it because it's cliched. Of course they fear repercussions for speaking out, because everyone that lives in a communist country fears repercussions for speaking out, for fuck's sake.
Cuando uno está frente a la cara de la muerte, ya el miedo se pierde.
Ay, madre mía, toda mi amor que te.
La población.
Well, they might have lost a loved one, but at least they'll finally have something to fucking eat. Right? Because that bastard's going on the barbecue. Yeah, like, I'm not being judgmental. If I was living in Venezuela, I'd have probably cooked my fucking missus. Needs must. At least they're getting fed for a couple of days, yeah? Toenail kebabs, which is, to be fair, have you seen the kebabs people eat in England? Have you seen who you buy them off? You're probably just getting toenail kebabs in England, so maybe we've got one thing in common with them.
Dice que ir a un hospital es como ir al infierno.
And look at that. Can you imagine if you're going up to see your granny? Should we take fucking granny a bottle of Lucasade? There is no Lucasade, son. You're living in Venezuela now. All right. Should we take granny a bottle of warm rainwater? Yeah. Let's go take granny a bottle of warm rainwater. And you're walking up the fucking stairs, and as you're going up, they're pulling a fucking car crash victim down past you. He's got his head smashed to shards in it, like a truck flattened him. And there's like brains and viscera just all down every step. Morning. All right, lads, cheers. Where's Mrs. Taylor? Yeah, 8th floor, mate. Absolutely class. This is how corpses are removed and then sent to the barbecue pit. A lift to use as rubbish bins. Total fucking collapse. Total collapse. It's a lift, but we've got no engineers, so just use it as a bin.
El sistema de salud en el estado Zulia está totalmente destruido. Prácticamente no tenemos nada. Deberíamos tener 100 camas de unidad de cuidados intensivos y no llegamos a 25 camas.
We should have 100 beds. Now we've got 100 rooms serving as bins. We've got 100 skips with beds in them. Champion.
Desde el mismo momento que el paciente pisa el sitio de emergencia, tiene que llevar todo lo que requiere. En Maracaibo había alegría, la gente era entusiasta. Hoy estamos catalogados como las personas más tristes del mundo.
La verdad es que uno se va acostumbrando al dolor. Y en estos días se nos murió otro compañero más, por la misma situación. Debe ser que el cansancio la fregó. Todavía sigo yo aquí.
There you go. Cheered me up. Could be living in Venezuela, couldn't we? Something that war teaches you, right? Like I've told you guys, war is life enhancing. You only have to deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan, and you suddenly don't feel so bad about being born and raised in Middlesbrough. Although, no, I tell a lie, Iraq was actually nicer than Middlesbrough. Afghanistan, probably marginally worse. Iraq, fucking hell, I jumped off the helicopter, I was like, can I stay? Can I get my Iraqi passport? Tariq Aziz. Phone fucking Tariq Aziz and tell him I want a 2-bedroom semi in fucking Haifa Street. Because it's fucking lovely round here. Didn't see any smackheads either. But typically, it does you good to watch people in abject fucking misery because it makes you thankful for what you've got. In England, they're doing the best to turn it into a toilet, but I'm confident that after another year of this fucking shit, or probably in the next general election, people are going to have to make a choice, and it's going to get done. Like I said, we may end up with 4 years of commies in charge because there's going to be a mass exodus of the Conservative Party. But after that, it will get fixed. The future of Britain will be all right. We just need to go through some major turmoil first to once and for all kill this disgusting, despicable, murderous, authoritarian, fucked up ideology. And people like Diane Abacus and David Lammy and fucking Jeremy Corbyn will be, if they're lucky, sweeping the fucking streets because those cunts are not fit to run me a bath. I'll do this quick before I leave because I wanted to cover it. US and Mexico restart Trump-era remain in Mexico policy. You couldn't make this shit up, I'm telling you. You couldn't make it up. Would-be asylum seekers who cross the US southern border will be sent to Mexico to await claims decisions following the restart of a controversial program. The US and Mexican governments said Thursday they will reinstate the Trump-era policy. US President Joe Biden suspended the program, calling it inhumane. Well, who's being inhumane now then, Joe, you thick twat? Honestly, I've made the case many times. Biden was thick when he was 40. He was always putting his foot in his mouth. When he was young, he was thick. Now that he's old, he's incompetent, incontinent, and thick as fuck. So, I mean, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? You could just replace him with a hat stand and it would do a better fucking job. If he'd have gone to the beach for fucking the last 13 months, the US would be doing better. If he'd literally done nothing, the US would be doing better. If they'd killed the fucking daft old cunt and stuffed him and just put him in the fucking Oval Office like that, the US would be doing better. Because all he's done is untangle things that did work, fuck up the country for a year, and then reinstated the fucking thing when they realised that it worked after a year of shit. So, literally, if he'd have went on holiday for a year, we'd be better off. What a fucking moron. And all you have to think is the last 12 months, how many women have been raped, how many people have been trafficked, how many drugs, how much fucking misery has resulted from getting shot of this for a year and then reinstalling it. That's like it's a computer program, reinstating it. Lunacy. So, horrendous. Absolutely fucking horrendous. And it's all a con as well, right? The administration said, oh yeah, we don't really want to do this, but we believe in following the law. Yeah, so what it is, right? What it is, let me tell you this in a fucking nutshell. They know it worked, they knew it worked, and they knew they shouldn't have got rid of it. But for cheap political point scoring, they were willing to fuck up America for a year and then knew they could just pay off the judges to, in a year's time, say, oh, well, we didn't want to do this. They made us do it and we agree with following the law. That's how cynical these fucking scumbags are. They knew it was a policy that was successful, they knew it was a policy that worked, and they got rid of it for pure political theatre. To help themselves in the polls, and they were willing to see women get raped, people get trafficked, people get murdered, misery, addiction, and fucking destruction for a few cheap political points. That is how woefully led we are in the United States. So, hey, it's not all fucking sunshine and rainbows in the US. We're just marginally less fucked than you guys in Europe. All right? That's fucking obvious. Has anybody seen Hunter Biden lately, John? No. Hunter Biden is off sniffing cocaine off a hooker's ring piece, because that's what he does these days. Fucked. We're all in the shit. It's just shit in various levels. Yeah? Venezuela, USA. No, that's the wrong way around. Venezuela, Britain, USA. Right. I think that's me done. Am I on tomorrow? I think I'm on tomorrow. Depends if my boss phones me. We've had a few things going on and most of the staff are fucking unreliable, so we'll see what happens. Right. Like I said, seriously, if you're depressed, fucking get a life. Watch Venezuela videos on YouTube. That'll perk you right up. You might think, hey, I might be locked in the house, the pubs might be fucking closed, they might be trying to force me into a job, but at least I'm not going to have to eat my fucking mother, right? Grandad kebabs are still off the menu in Britain. Yeah? Okay, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Have a good night. Apologies for my Russell Howard video. It got cut to fuck by YouTube because they're a bunch of cunts. But yeah, it happens, doesn't it? Just take my eyes for it. The boss-eyed, scrawny fucking pissant is about as funny as bollock cancer. And yeah, you don't need to see it to believe it. Right,